Consider a profound question: are you truly you without your memories? It seems simple, yet it strikes at the very core of what it means to exist as an individual. We often take memory for granted, a mere storage facility for past events. But memory is far more than a passive archive. It is the loom upon which the fabric of our identity is woven. Without it, the threads unravel, and the pattern disappears. Memory doesn't just record moments, it builds the foundation of our personal history. It connects the child you were to the adult you are now. This continuity, this narrative arc, is what gives shape to the self. Every experience, every lesson learned, every joy and sorrow is stored, not just as data, but as part of the ongoing story of you. These stored experiences inform your understanding of the world and your place within it. Our identity is intrinsically linked to what we remember. Your values, your beliefs, your fears, your loves, they are all shaped by past interactions and events that you recall. Your sense of self is a composite of these remembered experiences. When you make a choice, you draw upon past outcomes stored in memory. When you react to a situation, your response is filtered through the lens of similar past events. Memory is the silent architect of your present actions and future aspirations. What happens, then, when memory begins to fade? When the past becomes a blur, or worse, a complete blank. It is not merely the loss of information, it is the erosion of the self. A person without memory doesn't just forget facts, they lose their history, their relationships, their learned skills, their very sense of who they are. The continuity of being is broken. Without memory, the individual seems to vanish, even while the physical body remains. The personality shifts, the familiar reactions disappear, the connection to loved ones is severed. The person you knew, defined by their remembered past, is no longer present in the same way. It raises a difficult philosophical point: if identity is tied to memory, does the loss of memory equate to the loss of the person? Is the individual still there in a meaningful sense, or have they become someone else entirely, or perhaps no one specific at all? Memory also profoundly shapes our perception of reality. We interpret new experiences based on past ones. Our biases, our expectations, our understanding of cause and effect are all products of what we remember. The world we see is not just what is before us, but what our memory tells us it means. Without this framework of remembered experience, the world would be a constant, bewildering stream of disconnected moments. This connection between memory and identity presents a significant philosophical challenge. If we are our memories, what does that say about consciousness? Is consciousness merely the active recall and processing of stored information? And what of continuity? If memory is fluid and fallible, does our identity shift and change as our memories do? The self, often perceived as a stable entity, appears instead to be a dynamic construction built upon the shifting sands of recall. Ultimately, the question lingers. Memory is not just a function of the brain, it seems to be the very essence of our individual being. It is the thread that stitches together our past, present, and future into a coherent self. To lose memory is not just to forget, it is, in a profound and tragic sense, to cease to be the person you were. Memory is not just something we have, it is, perhaps, who we are.